कि एक बार फिर बांग्लादेश के सदर मोहम्मद शहाबुद्दीन एक तूफ़ान की जद में हैं। उनके खिलाफ मुजाहरे हो रहे हैं और सदारती महल पर भी धावा बोल दिया गया है। ये मामला क्या है, इस हवाले से हम बात करेंगे। हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं बांग्लादेश से सहाफ़ी कमरुज़्ज़मान साहब। अस्सलाम वालेकुम कमरुज़्ज़मान साहब।
Walaikum assalam.
Kamruzaman, thank you for giving us your time. Can you briefly explain what exactly is going on in Bangladesh at the moment? Because we were of the opinion that the protests are now over and everything is going smoothly, but now suddenly we've seen these new protests against the president.
Yes, thank you very much for your question. Actually, after the fall of Sheikh Hasina, and you know that she fled to India in the wake of mass upsurge and massive student protests. But problem is that since the fall of Sheikh Hasina, there were confusions among the people regarding the loyal high officials of Sheikh Hasina regime, including even President Muhammad Shahabuddin Chukpu. Actually, he was appointed by Sheikh Hasina, and it is well circulated that this president was so much loyal to Sheikh Hasina regime. And during the brutal crackdowns on the protesters during the July and first week of August movement, in which more than 1,000, mostly students, were brutally murdered, and thousands other injured due to random firing by police and armed cadres of the then ruling Awami League parties and its students' wing Chhatra League cadres. And during all that human rights violation, the role of the president was very silent. He didn't say anything, and even he is considered to be the cohort of Sheikh Hasina.
Okay.
So there were confusions among the people. Very recently, this president said that he didn't have any resignation letter from Sheikh Hasina, and he tried to get the resignation letter, but he couldn't manage to get it. But after the fall of Sheikh Hasina, when President addressed the nation, he openly said that Sheikh Hasina resigned, and according to the constitution, he conducted the oath of Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus and other members of the interim government advisors. So now his speech is very contradictory to his previous speech, and it is considered by the students
what might be the reason of his change of stance? Because initially you said he mentioned that Sheikh Hasina had given the resignation. Now he's saying that he has not received any kind of a resignation, and he, as you mentioned, he took oath from Dr. Muhammad Yunus. So what might have caused this change in his stance? It might be some sort of an external influence from India, maybe, or from someone else.
Actually, students and protesters are doubting it very clearly that just after the fall of Sheikh Hasina, there were various types of efforts to make the country unrest. And it is believed widely that India is behind this. And you know that there are so many Indian nationals and members of Indian Indian agency RAW here, everywhere, every sectors. And there are huge tensions among the current regime, interim government, and the students that India might create anarchy here. So now it is alleged by the students that this president, who is very loyal to Sheikh Hasina and also loyal to India, he said this just to create another anarchy. And you know that during the last 15 and a half years of regime by Sheikh Hasina, there were nepotism, and there were everywhere bureaucracy, judiciary, police, even army. There were huge appointment of Sheikh Hasina's loyals, and there were everywhere mechanism to return back Sheikh Hasina again. This is the doubt of the students, and the students allege that this president is trying to create an anarchy now. So that there is unrest, and Awami League can be re-established here. That is considered to be a very fascist political party here. And you know that just some days back, the student wing of Awami League, Bangladesh Chhatra League, has been
Yes.
banned here by the government due to its very human rights violations like firing to the students and killings and various types of
So
human rights
this
violations.
student wing of Sheikh Hasina's party, it has been banned. What were their activities that caused this ban?
Actually, in the last 15 and a half years, there are so many murders in different university campuses, and Chhatraleague was directly involved in those murders. So there are so many human rights violations, raping and extortions and other various types of bad activities, illegal activities. Chhatraleague has already been convicted, and
Okay.
in newspapers there are
So,
so many reports against Chhatraleague.
what is the current status of the protests, and do you think that the president will be resigning?
The students and the protesters are demanding immediate resignation of President Shahabuddin Chuppu. But there is some criticism that as there is no parliament, so how the president will resign, what will be the procedure, and if the president resigns now, there will be a vacuum, how that vacuum will be recovered. But the students are claiming that there is a revolutionary government and Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled when a revolution occurs. So it doesn't occur based on any constitution. It's a mass movement and a mass absurd. So any cohort of the fascist regime, of the previous fascist regime, has no moral and legal right to extend power, because president is a threat according to the statement of the protesters. So he should be resigned willingly, and any person, capable person who holds the spirit of the revolution should take on that position. This is the demand of the student.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Kamaruzzaman. Thank you for giving us your time.